Hey, what's up, guys? So, a couple weeks ago, I decided that I was going to do the rear fog light mod on my 2009 535i. You can Google it. The best way to Google it is E60 Rear Fog Activation. There's a really good forum thread on, I think it was a 5series.net forum. That's exactly the one I followed. The only thing the forum didn't list was the part number for the pin connectors that you have to use on the plugs. So what I did was I went to a dealership local to me. I bought 10 pins. I had to go in there. I had no idea what I was looking for. Luckily, they had the plug for the headlight switch, and we were able to match up a set of pins that fit that plug. So I figured, and this was wrong of me to figure, but I figured that they were the exact same pins for the headlight switch plug as they were for the light control module plug. They're not. I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time. I know I say it in the video, but just trust me, they're not the same. But either way, so I have a whole bunch of extra pins. So if I ever need them, I've got some extras. But you know, I did that. I picked those up. First things first, you know, find you a headlight switch online. I ordered mine from eBay, from a seller in Germany, because they didn't sell them in the US with the rear fog lights, so you have to buy them from overseas. I know it's scary. Mine was, I think, $30 with shipping. It took about 3 weeks to get here. Again, I live in Texas, Fort Worth. So Germany to Fort Worth, 3 weeks. As far as I'm concerned, it's not that horrible. It did come DHL, I believe, which delivered through the post office. So, you know, it's whatever. But like I said, 30 bucks or so. There's some online for around the same price. There are a few sellers that are selling them for, I think, like 60, 70 bucks even. You know, just find one that's in good condition. You can always clean it up when you get it if it needs to be cleaned, you know, something like that. But, you know, super simple. It honestly takes more time to take apart the lower kick panel in the car than it does to really kind of do anything else. But super easy install. I shot the install video over a couple days. Like I said, I was trying to get the wires connected. Like, I had the wrong pins, you know, that type of thing. So you know, I was trying to figure it out as I went. You know, I wasn't worried about driving without the kick panel. You know, yeah, you don't have the light, you don't have the, I have a speaker in my kick panel since I have the Logic 7 sound system, but you know, I wasn't too worried about it. I will say this, that wow, you can hear the engine a whole lot better with that kick panel off. You know, mine's a 535, so it's got the twin turbo N54. It's of course got some mods to it, and you can hear that sucker spool a lot better, and you can hear that blow-off valve a whole lot crisper when that kick panel is off. You know, there's some sound deadening on there, but I mean, I swear there's got to be some sort of intake, you know, sound tube or something through the firewall, it seems like, because you can hear it a hell of a lot better. It's almost like you're sitting right in the engine bay. You know, it's just that crisp a sound. But I'll piece together the videos here. It's shot over a couple days, so there'll be some daylight, some nighttime, you know, that type of thing. But you know, if you live in a place where there's, you know, inclement weather, severe weather, you know, a couple times out of the year, I would say get the, you know, try to do the mod. It's cheap. It'll cost you 50 bucks at most. You know, not that bad. And you know, it just helps make your vehicle more visible at night, or even during those bad weather situations. You know, I know I live in Texas, but we get severe thunderstorms all the time. You know, it rains so hard sometimes. It rained so hard last night that if you were outside, you couldn't even see cars in front of you. It literally sounded like hail was hitting the car, but it was just the rain was just so hard that, you know, it just sounded like that. But you know, you live in a place up north where it snows a lot. You know, you get severe fog and stuff like that. This is definitely something to think about doing, because it's cheap, it's easy to do, and it'll help to protect you. My thing would be is just don't drive around with them on all the time. So here's the videos that I put together. So you know, hope some of you guys enjoy and would want to do this as well. So Okay guys, so I'm doing this retrofit. I'm doing the rear fog light retrofit. And here's the factory piece here. As you can see, it's just fog light here. You got the dimmer switch, and of course, you know, the actual light switch is right here. Piece I'm going to be replacing it with is this one. As you can see, it's still got the fog light over here, dimmer switch, regular headlight switch, but then it's got this fog light switch. This is the one that activates for the rear fog lights, which I'll show you later when it's on. Tools you will need will be a Phillips head screwdriver, some sort of pick or smaller screwdriver, and of course, you know, interior trim panel removers or something like that, something to that effect. You'll need to remove this panel. Of course, you have to have the door open. I'm only going to crack mine open because it's really cold outside today in Texas. And as you can now see, it's also raining a little bit. So we'll pop this off real quick. There's a few clips on this side. There they go. And there's a clip over there on that side. So as you can see that the retainer stayed on here, over there, and only one stayed on the actual switch. So, but you just take this piece here, you have to push down on this little guy and rotate that back, pulls the connection out for you. Trying to do this one-handed, guys, sorry. There we go. Connection's free, and there's the unit. Now, close the door back so it's not so damn cold. I had originally purchased just this switch here piece from a guy on eBay, but I noticed after buying it that, of course, mine's not cut out the same way as the European model is. I'll put them right here so you can see the difference. So as you can see, there's separate little wing over here compared to right here. It's just blank. So to avoid any issues with that, I just went ahead, I canceled that order, and I bought this piece here. It's not in the best condition. I mean, there's some scuffing on it. You know, the switch definitely looks a little old. You know, my switch looks pretty damn clean. This one looks a little, you know, could be cleaned up. So I'll end up cleaning it when I clean the whole car. I seriously need to do a detail on the car. It's a bit messy in here. But that's that. I did see that you can, however, if you take off this bracket, the actual switch panel itself, whatever this is called, shit, I can't think all of a sudden. The covering here is already set up to where you can basically just cut out on the right here. There's a little lip that the switch sits down on. You can, once you remove this, you can just cut out the panel, and it'll give you the perfect little spot to cut, and then you'll have a perfect hole. Now, of course, I didn't want to do that because, you know, the edge is here, and I know me, I'm gonna mess that up. So, but there's that. You will need to take apart the switch itself. There's a little tab right here. I found it best to stick a flathead or a knife in this little spot right here in between, right where my thumbnail is, and that allows you to slide out the wiring plug itself. I already put in a wire on a pin connector in there. It goes in position 9, which is on the other side. Yeah. Here are the pin connectors I got. I got them from the dealership local here. They were $1.68 a piece. I just said screw it, I'll get a whole strip of them. So there was 10 on a strip. They are part number 61131393704. If anybody wants to get those as well. that's what I did. It works for the top one here. I will definitely say don't use quite such a big wire. This is just a speaker wire that I had. Definitely try to get a smaller gauge wire if you can, because it's so big, it was a little bit of a pain to get down into the plug, but it's in there. It fits. So other than that, that's as simple as that. There's a hole back there where the wiring harness goes through. I just shoved the wire down there, and that's all that there is to that portion. You just put the plug back in the holder here, and you're done with this portion. Now you can take these off, put them on the new plug, or the new switch I should say, and put the switch in here, and you're good to go with that. Okay guys, in order to remove this panel, there are 5 screws. There's one here, one back here, one here, one back there, and then this one right here. This little piece here has, let's see if I can't get a picture of it, some little clips. You just need to kind of push it out of the way. You know, don't break it. Yeah, don't break it, but it just needs to go back into that little slot when you're putting it back together. So that's how it would go in there. But when you just pull it out, you're just literally pulling it out, and then the clips come right off with it. So apparently there's the whole panel. So that's what the panel actually looks like on the back. See those little clips? So they just all slide. So but yeah, so you just remove these screws, Phillips head, and then you take this part off. There's little clips here, and you're good to go. So once you get those screws out, you can just pull the panel down, and it'll come right out. You just got to kind of plop it out of the spot there. Then it just falls right out. There's 2 clips here, and then this little cloth piece is kind of on these little snaps right under here. So just keep that in mind when you're pulling it off. Don't yank it down, because you might possibly tear the cloth or rip the clips out. And trust me, you probably don't want to replace that. Alright guys, so once you undo those clips and all that stuff, you can literally it just kind of falls out, and you just pull it out. Here's what the panel looks like. You see there's all this sound deadening, some foam here, there's a speaker here, and of course the footwell light. There's no airbag for your knees. There's this little styrofoam padding that just kind of goes under the steering column. But yeah, so I mean, you just have to disconnect, of course, the wires for the light and the speaker. Not a big deal, it's just plugs. But yeah, once you get this out, then you can get access to the light control module, which is this guy right here. Alright guys, once you get the kick panel removed, you'll see this box here, which of course is plugged into that. It's got this weird, strange looking cover on it. It sits right up in there on that little bracket right there. Literally, like if your foot was on the little foot peg thing here, right above where your foot is where the light control module sits. So you pull the box out. To be honest with you, I don't know how to pull it out. I just kind of yanked on it a little bit and it came out. Here's the plug. It's got that same style of little clip holding it on. So we'll just pull that clip back and pull out the plug. Apparently we're gonna have to pull out both the brown and the blue, since they are, you know, kind of wrapped together. So be right back. All right, so the plug is now off. It's real simple. I just pinched both sides and just kind of pulled it down. And here's the piece right here that you need to do. I'll have to look real quick what the number is, but a little hard to zoom in, but it starts at, what is that, 21, and it goes down from there. So yeah, a lot of little spots. Now you can see it So I'll have to see which one it is real quick. Hold on. Alright guys, so it's slot 33, so the plug is in there like that. 33 is on the inside, and it's that one empty slot that's in this last quadrant right here. That's 33. So we are going to take our little pin connector, because it looks to be the exact same one that was used in the switch itself. I'm going to cut some of this wire because I don't need so much of it, obviously. And then I'm going to put the pin connector on there, put it in the slot, put it all back together, and hopefully, cross our fingers, it'll all work. So look forward to that here next up. So I couldn't get, let me turn that off. I couldn't get this speaker wire I was using to fit, and I couldn't get these pin connectors to work either. I think it's the back of the connector where the wire comes into it at is what was holding me up, because the front part went in perfectly fine, and then once I got to the back portion here where the wire was, I went through a couple of them. Once I got to the back portion here, I think because this piece isn't totally flat and I couldn't get it like really small enough, I think that's why I couldn't get it in the actual piece. So what I ended up doing was I grabbed some actual speaker wire from inside my house that was used for connecting, oddly enough, just stereo system, because I couldn't shove this wire in because the casing was so big. So I just actually put this wire into the plug itself, no pin connector, just shoved it in there like all the way in, plugged it up, and that's how it's working. So I'll have to clean this up a little bit, wrap it up, get it nice and pretty looking. But yeah, rear fog light mod is a go. So you'll have front fog lights, rear fog lights, and then of course brights in the middle. When your brights are on, of course the fronts aren't on, but the rears are on. It's neat. But yeah, cool deal. But yeah, so just put this panel back up in here and you're good to go. Also, alright guys, gonna be a little hard to see, but that is the rear fog lights on. So as you can see, the center portion here is what lights up for the fog light. So that's with it on. And you see we have the yellow icon on the other side of the TPMS light. Goes off. Now it's a whole lot duller. Check that shit out. That's pretty cool, dude. Now, when someone's riding my ass, I can turn that on, and they'll get a whole lot of red light in their face. They may or may not notice it, but it'll make me feel better. Alright guys, hope some of you enjoyed the video. Hope you intend to do the mod. It's pretty easy. And stay tuned for videos to come out in the future for some of the additional mods I plan on doing. I will make some videos on the maintenance stuff as well, as I do those also, so stay tuned for that. If you need to do some of the work yourself, there's plenty of forums to look at and read. I've been doing a lot of that here lately on some of those things, especially the transmission. That's really going to help me out quite a bit. You know, watch the videos that I put out. You know, if you need the help doing certain things or whatever, then hope they help you. Thanks for watching again, appreciate it, and hopefully you'll stick around and watch some more videos posted in the future. Thanks.